What's up, Ravens fans? If you want to be on our next Ravens mailbag, I need you to do two things. First, I need you to hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss anything, and if you are featured, then, hey, you know about it. The way that you can go ahead and get featured is by using hashtag Ravens down in the comments section. Something like, hashtag Ravens, should the team extend, I don't know, Lamar Jackson. Hashtag Ravens, how many rushing yards for J.K. Dobbins? Hashtag Ravens, should we go out and trade for a top offensive tackle? That's how I want the questions to be, but the only way you're going to be featured is if you hit that sub button. It's Mitchell Renz from Chat Sports, and coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down all of the questions that you guys went ahead and asked in today's Ravens mailbag. Now, Chat Sports, we make a lot of content, and personally, I love doing mailbags because I can see where you guys are thinking, and then I can also go ahead and give you my 2 cents. This first question is coming in from Ravens Fan 3000. With Lamar coming back, I should also mention I'm going to read these just like Ron Burgundy would. With Lamar coming back next season, do we trade Huntley while the value is high? I understand a lot of Ravens fans might think that, okay, the idea to go out and trade Tyler Huntley after he filled in, I'd say pretty nicely, for quarterback Lamar Jackson this season could be the thing to do. The only reason why I might go ahead and say, well, let's pump the brakes on it is because I still want to see what the Ravens decide to do with Lamar Jackson full term. Now, his passing stats, 1,081 yards, 64.9% completion percentage. He had 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but a lot of times people point the finger at, Lamar Jackson and say, oh, he struggled this season because he didn't have a good offensive line, he didn't have a running game. I don't really feel like Tyler Huntley got that exact credit, if you will, for being able to try to carry this team when there weren't a lot of pieces around him. Now, obviously, Lamar, what he does with his legs cannot be matched, but I actually liked what I saw at Huntley this season also to be able to buy time with his legs, and he was a passer first, which he should get a lot of credit for, and when then needed to, he wasn't afraid to tuck the ball and run. 47 carries, 294 yards. He averaged 6.3 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. The reason why I'm going to sit up here and say I believe that you should keep Huntley for 2022 is for exactly why you saw this past season. If Lamar goes down, you're going to be in trouble. And I really, truly believe that the Ravens, if they have a right quarterback in place, they can still be a playoff caliber team. Now, I also go ahead and say this like, hey, if an NFL team's willing to give you a 4th, a 3rd, round pick, I don't see anybody giving up a 1st or a 2nd. But if you're able to get a 4th or a 3rd round pick for Huntley, then actually I would probably consider it, and then you go ahead and do it. But if you're only going to get a 5th, 6th, 7th rounder, I'd actually say just keep your money, rock and roll with Tyler Huntley as a competent backup going into the season. But then you also remember, you got to go ahead and still bring him back as well. Now, in terms of some QB-needy teams, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they need a quarterback, though I do not see them going out and getting somebody like Huntley. I personally believe that they're going to go out and get a top-tier quarterback in free agency or one of the top guys that could be traded. The Saints would be an interesting team simply because they don't really have a lot of money. The Commanders, the Panthers, and the Lions. The issue is this. I do not really truly believe many NFL teams view Tyler Huntley as a starting level quarterback, and for that reason you're not going to get a lot for him. And for teams that are interested, again, they're probably would try to go out and get him in free agency if the Ravens don't bring him back. So let me know, guys, would you take a 3rd round pick for Tyler Huntley? I want you to go ahead and type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comments. I like Huntley. He's a good player, but personally, I think you are crazy if you don't take a 3rd round pick for quarterback Tyler Huntley. So personally, I'm going to go ahead and type my T for trade. Let's go to the next question coming in here from Edwin Garcia. Get a pick. What's going on with Hollywood? First, I heard he was going to be an e-gamer, and now he apparently took the Ravens off his Insta. So here's one of my favorite things about doing this show. First off, the whole e-gaming thing, it's fake news. Some dude with a blue check mark that covers the Baltimore Ravens, he got. Essentially, some guy put out there on Twitter that Marquise Hollywood Brown's going to become a Twitch star, though I love when people get got because, the picture is literally some guys, sniffing some white stuff that you shouldn't be sniffing too much of. All I know is this. Marquise Hollywood Brown is not leaving the Baltimore Ravens to go ahead and become a Twitch star. And we talked about this on Chat Sports last week as well. Just because an NFL player gets rid of his social media or get rid of a team, that doesn't mean anything. I will say it worries me a little bit that he's in the Brown family and his cousin Antonio is an absolute psychopath. But Marquise should probably worry about concentrating on the field a little bit more. Maybe not so much off the field drama, because personally, I don't think he's ever going to be a wide receiver one. You're hoping that Rashad Bateman can take that next step, because they still need to be able to go out and find another guy since Sammy Watkins is about to be a free agent. So what do y'all think about this? Go down in the comments section right now and type that Y for yes, or you can go ahead and type your N for no. Do you think Hollywood Brown will sign an extension with the Ravens? Let me know what you're thinking. If the Ravens do go out and sign an extension with Hollywood Brown, if they make Lamar Jackson one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, if there's a trade, free agent move, we're going to be covering the draft as well. We are going to keep you guys up to date on everything going on with the Baltimore Ravens. The more subs this channel gets means the more videos y'all are going to get. So what do I got to do? Hit that sub button. Let's go to Petey Jennings. Would it be worth it to trade up for either Kyle Hamilton or David Ojabo? Now, right now, the Baltimore Ravens have the number 14th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and I love Kyle Hamilton. In fact, he might be my favorite prospect in this year's draft. Versatile safety, can tackle like a linebacker, can cover. He can do so many amazing things. And then you got David Ojabo. Love his upside. He is an incredible edge rusher. And personally, if I was Ojabo, one of the top spots I would want to go was with that Baltimore Ravens defense, because they have always been able to just churn out solid edge rushers. However, I'm not going to trade up from 14. If you want to get Kyle Hamilton, dude, you might have to trade up into the top 3. I ain't giving up that much draft capital for a safety, as even though I absolutely love the kid out of Notre Dame. 34 tackles, 3 INTs, 4 pass breakups. The only way you're trading into the top 5 is if you're going to go out and get a quarterback. I'm sorry, you're not going to do that with Lamar Jackson. Now, David Ojabo, on the other hand, he had 11 sacks this past season for the Wolverines, 35 tackles, 5 forced fumbles. The more and more he plays, the better and better that this young man gets. However, I don't even see trading up for him makes a lot of sense. I think personally he's got a decent shot to fall to you at 14. I'm more of a guy, the only way I'm trading up is if I absolutely need a player or if there's a quarterback on the board, and for that reason, I'm not going to do it. However, let's just say you had to go ahead and you had to pick one of these guys. Type KH for Kyle Hamilton. Type DO for David Ojabo. I love Hamilton. He's the better prospect, but I'm not going to trade up for him unless he slides to, like, I don't know, 11 or 12, or a few years ago where Derwin James fell really far in the draft because of, for whatever reason, safety wasn't being valued that year. Kyle Hamilton's the better player, but David Ojabo's the more likely player to get at 14. This last one is from Big Trust 410. People sleep on Dobbins. You think he can be a top 5 back next season? I love J.K. Dobbins. He was actually one of my favorite running back prospects when he was coming out of Ohio State. But when you say top 5 back, I personally do not believe that he is a top 5 back in terms of talent. If you're talking about top 5 back numbers, like at the end of the season for fantasy, personally, it actually comes down more to Lamar Jackson and how healthy he is, because if he's healthy, it opens up a lot more things. You see a lot of times when a running back's in an offense where the quarterback is mobile, that opens it up. Why? Because when Lamar goes to keep it, the defense follows him, which that can lead to a big hole for J.K. Dobbins. Now, it is going to be his second season healthy, essentially, 3rd year in the NFL. Was really frustrated when I saw the injury that he suffered before the season even started. But as a rookie in 2020, he had 134 carries, 805 yards. I think 6.0 yards per carry is pretty damn good. And then 9 touchdowns. So here's my question to everyone out there. Let's say J.K. Dobbins plays 17 games. Let's say Lamar Jackson plays 17 games. Can Dobbins be a top 5 running back next year? Go ahead and type T5 for yes, top 5, or you can go ahead and type N5 for no. Now, personally, I might actually go ahead and say T5. J.K. Dobbins is going to be one of the running backs that I target in every single one of my fantasy drafts. That doesn't mean I think he's a top 5 talent, but if you're a Ravens running back that's going to get probably, let's say, 250, 300, maybe even 350 touches, that is so much value. Now, remember when I first started the show, I said the only way you're going to be featured in an upcoming mailbag is if you're subscribed and if you use hashtag Ravens down in the comments. Producer Jeremy, he's going to be looking, he's going to be trying to find his favorite question. So before I go, I got 2 things to ask you. Actually, 3. One, today's my birthday, so hit that sub button and use hashtag Ravens down in the comments to be featured on our next mailbag.